Okay, well, next plasma TV we're going to look at is another LG, slightly different model than the last LG I did. Got a nice steel back, so at least that's a little bit of value. We'll crack her open. Yeah, and in case you're new to my LCD plasma TV scraps, basically just getting a general scrap value on each sort of model that I get, just to just for something to do and get a bit of an idea. This one here doesn't look too bad. It's the main board here. This one's a high grade. It's got the gold corner chip, so it's a nice start. High grade board. This one here is a mixed between a nice mid-grade board and some low-grade stuff on this side. Got a very good power board here by the looks of it. It's got a lot of transformers, got a lot of these black heat sinks. So yeah, this is going to be not bad value for a plasma TV, I suppose. So yeah, I'll just I'll take off a few more screws and get these boards out, have a little closer look, and we'll go from there. Okay, so what we got? So we got the high grade board, obviously. As you can see here, the gold corner chip. That makes it a high grade board, just like a motherboard. There's also a removable EEPROM there. Lots of nice little flat packs. So it's a pretty good high grade board. Nice to depopulate, or if you sell it as a motherboard. But it's got quite a few crystals on it, and taller ones. So, 5 crystals just on this board. And the other board is just, well, it's a bit of a mid-grade board. This part's all low-grade, so if you were to sell it like this, it would just go as a low-grade, almost a power board. So what you could probably do for those that like to depopulate boards, I'd remove these nice chips and then sell the rest as just a power board kind of board, rather than anything else. But otherwise, if you cut the board in half, this part would be mid-grade, this part power board. And then we got the power board, which is a really nice heavy power board. It's got a lot of copper spools to take. If you sold it as is, it should be okay, but otherwise, to get better value, I'd take off all these heat sinks, all these copper transformers, and these copper spools. So there's quite a bit to take off. Little board here, that can go as a mid-grade kind of board. But yeah, nice. And under this steel, we've got those strip boards, but they don't have the gold fingers on these kinds, on the plasmas. But we've got looks like a nice little T-con board there. It's got the gold chip, so it'll go as a high grade board. So yeah, it's a nice little board too. It's got the gold chip, so this can go as a high grade board if you sold your boards, or again just depopulate it, add this to your high grade flat pack chips, BGA chips, North Bridge, South Bridge type chips. Some gold plating on the ends of the ribbons, both sides. So yeah, it's a good little bonus board, that. These bars, in this case, these crossbars are actually aluminium. They look like cast aluminium, but it's not. It's a different type of cast than a traditional cast. So some yards don't accept it as cast aluminium, but if you throw them in with your cast, you can probably get away with it. But technically it's a low grade of cast, so it would just go as regular aluminium. Just depends on your yard, but still a bit of aluminium, a bit of a bonus. Usually, you know, they can be steel, so, you know, always a bit of aluminium is better than steel, especially at the moment. Another power board. Obviously, before you solder this power board, you want to take off your heat sinks to get more value out of it. Even these copper rings, good to take off. Looks like under there might be a bit of gold plating under the. Just have a look. Take one off. Yeah, these are actually steel. Yeah, so on this board, this is gold flashing. So, you know, I'd cut these off. They're only one-sided, but I'd definitely trim these off and throw them in with your, you know, low-grade gold fingers. There's going to be one on each side as well. So yeah, so another good board. Got these side boards, part of the video boards. They're also got some gold flashing and these IC chips and some gold, probably gold plating pins under these plugs there. Also little MLCCs, some resistors. So yeah, as you can see, it's got quite a little bit of gold flashing. So you could technically put these with gold finger strip boards from the LCDs. If you just take off, you know, depopulate all the stuff off it, you could sort of treat this as a gold plated board, the whole thing. There's not much on it, but you know, it all adds up. And so rather than just selling these as, like, you can sell these as mid-grade board, but you know, just depends on how far you take your boards. Obviously under these strips, you got these brown strips here with a little bit of gold plating on them, and some strip boards. And again, another power board. This one doesn't have, you know, as much extra gold plating, so I'd take off this large aluminium heatsink, these really nice copper spools. I mean, this is just straight copper, so get good money for that, and throw the rest as in power boards. You've got a little gold fuse there you might want to take off as well. Alright, so I'll get these strip boards out. There's not much there, and I'll take off the ribbons with the gold plating on the ends, clean up the wire, and we'll see what we get. Okay, so we got our tally up. This is the scrap steel that we got out of it, and these here are the power boards. So these finger boards, or these strip boards, don't have the fingers. They just got little plugs. Plasmas don't have those fingers, so because they're just so low value, nothing really much on them, so they go as power boards. Obviously that's the main power board, nice and heavy. Probably much more valuable if you depopulate it, obviously. And same with all of these power boards, because you're not getting much for them selling them like this. But if you depopulate it, you'll probably get 3 or 4 times more value. Okay, so that's the power boards, low grades, and these are mid-grade boards. So I just class this as a mid-grade board, just to balance it out, because there's more value in stuff anyway. So mid-grades, these two also mid-grade boards, and then high-grade boards. That's the main. It's the main board with the gold corner chip. So it's a high-grade board because there's no junk on it. Okay, and the T-con board, which has also got the gold corner chip. If it didn't have a gold corner chip, it would just be a mid-grade board, but because this one has got one, it goes as high grade. And then we just got some wire, and we actually got quite a bit of aluminium out of it. Although the side mounting frame was all aluminium. So, and also I showed you these crossbars, and also the crossbars sit on these aluminium chunks, so don't forget these off your TV. So yeah, so overall for this LG we got 2.9 kilos of power boards, 730 grams of mid-grade, 440 grams of high grade, just over half a kilo of insulated wire, 1.9 kilos of copper, 18.3 kilos of scrap steel, and current prices, today's prices, current scrap value is $7.53. Alright, well that's it for this LG plasma. Not a bad little haul, so keep scrapping guys, have fun, and I'll catch you next time.